My kids knew about my wife's affair and helped her cover it up. Last week, while my wife, 49F, was taking a shower, I, 50M, saw a notification pop up on her phone and went to open it, thinking it was one of our daughters, Maddie, 24F, and Alice, 26F, confirming what time their girls' dinner was. Instead, I saw an unsaved number saying, "I can't wait to see you," followed by a kissing emoji. I froze for a second. I clicked on the message and saw a short thread, mostly confirming dinner plans for that evening and how they missed each other, and once a week just wasn't enough. I knew what I saw. 29 years of marriage down the drain. Hoping to catch her in a lie before she left the house, I texted both our daughters and asked them about girls' dinner. What happened next devastated me to my core. Both girls confirmed the dinner and said they were excited. I couldn't believe it. Not proud of what came next. I turned her location sharing on with me in her phone and let her leave. I followed her to a restaurant, and lo and behold, neither daughter was there, but instead a man I knew was her boss. I was so devastated. Part of me was hoping I was just a paranoid freak and my daughters would be there, happy to see me. But no, just my cheating wife and her affair partner. I took pictures of the two of them holding hands and kissing. I know I should have waited, but I couldn't help myself. I was so furious. As soon as I got in my car, I opened the group chat we had as a family, sent them all the photos, and said, "Glad you're enjoying girls' dinner together." I then turned my phone off and drove to my brother's house and asked to stay the night. I woke up the next morning to over 40 texts and 20 voicemails. My wife went through the cheater's playbook of excuses. I didn't even listen to her voicemails. I was about to respond with, "I will be getting a divorce. I recommend a lawyer." But my brother stopped me. He told me to meet with a bunch of lawyers first and make sure she couldn't use them. Instead, I just sent the group chat a simple message. "I am physically fine, but need time. I will come home when I'm ready." I then muted my phone. I called different lawyers that looked to be the best in town that morning for appointments. Met with all of them and picked the one who looked ready to treat this as scorched earth as possible. Finally, after spending all day with lawyers, I looked through the messages and both my daughters were expressing regret. My younger daughter, the daddy's girl of the two, was frantic. She had texted me almost 50 times, saying she never should have lied and hated it every time. Her boyfriend even reached out, asking me to please reach out to her, that he didn't know what was going on but that she was on the verge of a panic attack. "Maddie, I love you, but please understand that what you've done has hurt me deeply. I need you to give me space." I sent it, and within seconds got an, "Okay, I'm so sorry, I never should have helped. I'll never pardon myself. I love you too." I didn't respond. Alice was different. We always had a good relationship, but she was a mama's girl through and through. She said she was sorry, but that I shouldn't throw away a good marriage because of one error. This made me furious. "Alice, this isn't an error. This is a treachery. From my whole family. Please don't reach out again until I make first contact." She never responded, but I know she showed it to my soon-to-be ex because she started saying that I shouldn't take this out on Alice. I never responded. I'll never talk to her again except through lawyers. This all happened 5 days ago. I'm still at my brother's and can't contain my feelings. I cry every morning and most of the day. I oscillate between complete debilitating sadness and all-consuming anger. Losing my wife will be hard enough, but how do I ever look at my children again? How do I even begin to pardon them? Alice is supposed to get married in the fall. I've been paying for almost everything. Now I'm probably not going to go. I don't even know how to move forward. I am completely shattered. Update 1. I can't believe it's been a year since my original post. Some days it feels like it just happened yesterday, and others I feel like it's always happened. There was never a before. My soon-to-be ex-wife, Julie 50F, and I are still going through the divorce proceedings. We were forced to do a 6-month legal separation before we could start the divorce. I moved back home after a week and a half at my brother's. I served her with the legal separation a week later to ensure I had re-established that our house was still my home location. The terms were absolute hell. We had 1 year left on the mortgage, so whoever was going to stay at the house was supposed to pay the full amount for the year. Of course, because she had been a stay-at-home mom 20 years ago until Maddie started pre-K, her decision that I was against. She used that against me, and she was allowed to stay at the house, but we split the mortgage. I ended up moving into a 1-bedroom apartment. That's where I'm writing this now. Maddie and I made up somewhat quickly. She came to the house and refused to leave until I talked to her. She didn't throw a fit or anything. She just wouldn't leave. This went on for a couple of weeks. Her boyfriend was annoyed, He kept coming over and hated the awkwardness, but she would just say in front of Julie and me that she would not return to their apartment until she and I were talking again. At the time, it was really annoying. I hated being there, and Julie and I were fighting over the legal separation. But I eventually unleashed some frustration onto Maddie, and she told me how she found out. Apparently, at an actual girls' dinner 2 weeks prior to my finding out, Julie was quite drunk and let it slip. Alice tried to stop her but couldn't. Alice and Julie begged her to keep quiet until Julie could come clean to me. Maddie was crying as she said this and told me she now realizes that her mom had no intention of ever telling me. The girls' dinner lie was the first time she had lied to me about the affair, and according to her mom, she was going to break it off with the affair partner and then tell me that night. We were both crying, and Julie came in trying to defend herself, and I unleashed all of my anger. I yelled like I had never done before. Maddie even had to calm me down. She didn't just manipulate me, she straight up used at least one of our daughters. It was unforgivable. That's when I just agreed to the mortgage split to get Maddie and me out of that house. Maddie moved back in with her boyfriend that night, and I found my current apartment. Maddie decorated it for me. Alice and I, unfortunately, are not on speaking terms. After the fallout, her fiancé called me and asked what was going on. He suspected that she was cheating. I told him that I had no reason to suspect that she was cheating, but that my wife had cheated on me, and Alice knew before me. Not sure exactly what happened next, but it ended in them breaking up. Alice blames me, saying I should not have told him anything. Since coming to my apartment in tears and blaming me for everything, she blocked me, and we haven't spoken. I was able to get some money back from vendors I had dealt with directly, but I know Alice kept some of the money for herself. I still have no idea how long Alice knew of the affair, and her lack of remorse likely means we will never have a relationship again. Alice and Julie are currently living together at the house. Julie is openly dating her boss now. He left and went to another firm when I caught them, scared he would lose his job. I'm embarrassed to say I am jealous. Not of the two of them. They will implode, I'm sure, but jealous of not being lonely. Maddie has been encouraging me to go out and helped me set up a dating profile. So awkward. She then called me a weirdo when my first match was with a 33-year-old single mom. We have a date planned for next week that Maddie encouraged me to go on, but I'm just not sure I'm ready to start over. The past year has been a blur of pain, paperwork, and trying to piece myself back together. I started therapy a few months ago at Maddie's insistence. At first, I thought it was pointless. Talking to a stranger about my shattered life felt like picking at a wound. But slowly, it's helped me untangle the mess of anger and sadness. My therapist keeps pushing me to confront my trust issues, especially with Maddie and Alice. I told her about Maddie's persistence, how she refused to give up on me, and how that's the only reason we're talking again. With Alice, though, I'm still stuck. I don't know if I can ever trust her after her defense of Julie's one error. A few months back, Maddie arranged for me to meet Alice at a coffee shop, hoping we could talk. I almost didn't go, but Maddie begged me, saying Alice was struggling too. When I got there, Alice looked tired, her usual confidence gone. She apologized, but it felt rehearsed, like she was saying what she thought I wanted to hear. I asked how long she knew about the affair. She admitted it was a month before I found out. Julie had confided in her during a late-night talk, swearing it was a fleeting mistake. Alice said she believed Julie would end it and didn't want to hurt me. I wanted to believe her, but her lack of remorse that day, her blaming me for her broken engagement, cut deep. We left without resolving anything, and we haven't spoken since. Maddie was disappointed, but she didn't push me further. Maddie's been my lifeline. She checks in daily, brings me takeout, and even helped me furnish my tiny apartment with secondhand finds to make it feel less sterile. But she's hurting too. She told me she feels caught between me and Alice, like she's betraying one of us no matter what she does. I hate that this mess has put her in that position. Last week, she told me her boyfriend proposed, and she's planning a small engagement party. She wants me there, and I promised I'd go, but the thought of celebrating anything feels foreign right now. The divorce has been a financial nightmare. The house was finally sold last month, after months of arguing through lawyers. Julie fought to keep it, but my lawyer pushed for a sale to split the proceeds. I walked away with enough to cover my apartment's rent for a couple of years, but it's a far cry from the life we'd built. Julie's lawyer tried to argue for alimony, citing her years as a stay-at-home mom, but my lawyer shut it down, pointing out she's been employed full-time for over 15 years. The divorce should be finalized in a few weeks, and I'll be free, legally. at least. One moment I haven't shared before still haunts me. A few months ago, I ran into Julie's boss at a gas station. I don't know what came over me. Maybe the therapy was making me reckless, but I confronted him. I asked how he could sleep at night, knowing he'd helped destroy my family. He looked shocked, stammered something about not meaning to hurt anyone, and said Julie told him our marriage was already over. I didn't believe him, but it planted a seed of doubt. Had Julie been planning to leave me long before I found out? I'll never know, and I'm trying to let that go. Dating has been a disaster. That first date with the single mom was awkward. I spent half the night talking about my divorce, and she politely ghosted me after. Maddie keeps pushing me to try again, but I feel like a stranger in my own skin. Who am I now, without my wife, my family whole, my trust intact? Therapy's helping me figure that out, but it's slow. I've started hiking on weekends, something I used to love but dropped during marriage. It's quiet out there, and for a few hours, I can breathe without the weight of everything. Maddie's engagement party is next weekend, and I'm nervous. She says Alice might be there, and I don't know how I'll handle it. I want to be there for Maddie. She's the one good thing I've held on to, but seeing Alice, knowing she still lives with Julie, might reopen everything. My therapist says I don't have to forgive Alice to move forward, but I need to decide what kind of relationship I want with her, if any. I'm not there yet. For the first time in a year, though, I feel a flicker of hope. It's small, fragile, but it's there. I'm not the man I was before the affair, and I'll never be. But maybe I can be someone new. Someone who learns to trust again, to love again, to be a father Maddie can be proud of. I'm not ready to pardon Julie or Alice, but I'm trying to pardon myself for not seeing the signs, for believing my family was unbreakable. One step at a time, I'm rebuilding, and that's enough for now. This story is coming to an end. Press like if you like this, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to hear more story from us.